Hey CC families, welcome back for the second half of the year. We're on week 13 of cycle 3, new memory work. Let's start with our timeline. This started the age of exploration this week. So we looked around like explorers. We said age of exploration. And then we just did bars for the time. So circa 1400 to circa 1600. And then Prince Henry, we did a P for Prince and did shoulder to hip like a royal sash. Um, Prince Henry founds the School of Navigation, like you're steering a big ship, um, the big wheel of the ship, steering the rudder. So Prince Henry founds the School of Navigation, slave trade in Africa. Pretty simple, just cross your wrists like you're in shackles or handcuffs. Um, and then next is Gutenberg's printing press. We put one hand flat, and then we made a G, which is like your little alligator fingers parallel to each other, and set that on top. And we just did that almost like a little printing press, like it's making copies. So Gutenberg's printing press, do that about 3 times. Songhai in Africa is an S, which is just a fist with your thumb on the outside. Songhai, and then the symbol for gold in Africa. Tsar Ivan the Great. So Tsar Ivan was a leader in Russia. We're going to do an I for his name, Ivan the Great of Russia. Now, the symbol for Russia, or the sign, is take your hands and put them at your waist a couple of times, because they were well known for their Russian dances, and they would do this kind of movement in their dances very commonly. So Tsar Ivan the Great of Russia. The Spanish Inquisition. Make little hooks with your fingers and do like the collar of a cape around to the front. The Spanish Inquisition. Okay, so let's put it all together with our music. Age of exploration, circa 1400 to circa 1600. Prince Henry founds School of Navigation, slave trade in Africa. Gutenberg's printing press, Songhai in Africa. Ivan the Great of Russia, the Spanish Inquisition. Very good. So that's our timeline. And for liquid equivalents for math, we looked at gallon man. If you remember this guy from class, right? So he's got a gallon in the middle. We said 1 gallon equals 4 quarts. Those are his shoulders and his knees. And then 1 quart equals 2 pints. 1 pint equals 2 cups. And 1 cup equals 8 fluid ounces. And we also said that you, yourself, and I can be gallon man too. 1 gallon equals 4 quarts. 1 quart equals 2 pints. 1 pint equals 2 cups. 1 cup equals 8 fluid ounces. And then we shot our rocket blasters at each other. Choo, 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 choo. It was very silly and fun. So, and I will email this to you if you'd like to have it for review at home. For history, tell me about the 14th Amendment. Let's see, just getting my song ready. In 1868, the 14th, so we did a hand with 1 finger and a hand with 4 fingers. The 14th Amendment made all former slaves U.S. citizens and paved the way, like little footsteps, for the civil rights movement. This is an equal sign. The civil rights movement sought to give equal rights to African Americans, equal rights to them as it made them citizens. So let's do it with the music.
Week 13. Tell me about the 14th.
Okay. In 1868, the 14th Amendment made all former slaves U.S. citizens and paved the way for the Civil Rights Movement. In 1868, the 14th Amendment made, and so on. Great. So for Latin, we learned the rest of John 1, verse 1, the Latin and the English, and we just said this and repeated it back and forth. In teams, we would roll a ball from the Latin side. They would say the phrase in Latin and roll it over to the English side. So we really just tried to repeat this. So we learned et verbum erat apud Deum, which means and the word was with God. And we practiced that back and forth. And then the second phrase today is et Deus erat verbum, and the word was God. And now we know that whole first verse. Next was science, and we learned about the atomic number, and I had a little picture of an atom. So we've got the nucleus in the middle with protons. Now this one has 3 protons. The protons are green in this picture. So nucleus with the protons, and then electrons circle around the nucleus, right? So that's an atom. So our song was to the tune Spoonful of Sugar, and we sang it like this. What is the atomic number? The atomic number is the number of protons in the nucleus of an atom, which is also the number of electrons in a neutral atom. Okay? And see if you can sing it like a robot. English, we learned the verb to beat. So we practiced beating different things. We started with the drum, and we beat our heart, and then we beat some eggs, and we beat a nail with a hammer. So whatever you want to beat, this is the song. To beat, beat, beats, beat, beating, beaten. Okay, and those are the parts of to beat. And finally, geography, we did the Western Mountains, and we learned, we did our chant with the We Will Rock You. Okay, so get it going here. Western, let's see. Western mountains, Rocky Mountains, stretch from Montana to New Mexico, Pikes Peak to the right, Mount Elbert in Colorado, Sierra Nevadas in California, Mount Whitney. And those are your features. So look at your map in the back of the Foundations Guide, or whatever CC map you might have, and see if you can do our rock and roll chant to that and find all of those mountains. And then finally we added the presidents up through Hoover, yes, Harding, Coolidge, Hoover. So practice the president's song up to that point at least, and got really, really good at it, because I would like for that to be the song that our class sings at the end of your celebration. We are really doing very well with it so far, so I'm hoping that we can do that and polish it up. Lastly, I just will comment on our fine arts. This is the book I meant to bring in today, so I just want to show you. We talked about Grandma Moses, and we painted like she did from far away, looking at a scene with lots of activity and lots of people. And so here are some of her works out of this book. You can see she painted the countryside. She used lots of colors and put lots and lots of different things in her paintings all at once. Okay, and really remember that she painted from far away, because we're going to paint or make art like another artist who zoomed in on life and created art from up close. So this looks like a wedding that she painted. Okay, This book is The Essential Grandma Moses. I just got it from our library. It's in the kids section, I think. No, maybe not. It looks like it is a nonfiction. So it's a good book, has lots of her art, or you can Google and look up different pieces of her art. So I just thought I would share that since I forgot it today in class. Next week, our presentations will be the letter N, or the older students will prepare a presentation to tell about a place that they would like to visit. I think for our ABC class, you can share about a place you would like to visit or a place you have visited. And if there's a way to incorporate the letter N, bring something for us to guess related to that place, that would be a lot of fun. So whatever you parents decide to do with that will be fantastic. So thanks so much and have a great week. I'll see you next Tuesday.